who's winning rave reviews for her West End debut in Speed the Plough. It's Lindsay Lohan. Also, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Russell Brand is still here with us, but we're going to get our next guest out. She burst onto the screens as a child actor in movies like Freaky Friday and The Parent Trap. Her first grown-up role was in Mean Girls, which is still one of my all-time favourite comedies. Since then, she's been in and out of the headlines for any number of reasons, but I'm pleased to say she's currently in the papers for the rave reviews she's got for her role in the West End stage show Speed the Plough. Will you please welcome Lindsay Lohan? Here's Russell, I don't know if you met.
No, he's stupid. I'm going on.
You've gone over here. Don't be scared. He's kind of shouty, but in a fun, friendly way.
Did you see the distance on the sofa?
Okay. Now, it's lovely to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, West End, on stage, in Speed the Plough. Is this I believe, your first time in a play, your first time in theatre like this?
Yes, my first time in a play ever. And in theatre, and in the West End, and especially, you know, a Mammoth play, which is not the easiest.
Yeah, it's quite fast, quite wordy, quite strange.
Yeah, but once you get used to it, it becomes, you know, more comfortable.
Okay, how are you finding the experience? How are you finding the routine? How are you finding the fact that you have to... Is it 8 shows a week you're doing? 8
shows a week, yeah. It's interesting because it's not the kind of... I personally don't think it's the right play to have a Wednesday matinee because it's a bit crass, and it gets a bit vulgar.
Why is that? Because of the language and the dialogue? Yep.
And the story of it is, you know, 2 producers in Hollywood that are kind of, you know, making a bet to sleep with a pretty much innocent girl who really has no idea of what's going on. And she reads this book. I don't know if it would be your book, Russell, but it changes her life.
Well, it's a revolutionary book.
It is very revolutionary.
It's a similar book, I guess.
Sounds quite like it.
Yeah. And,
no, I will say one thing, is that when Oprah gave me this book by Michael J. Singer called The Untethered Soul.
We just enjoy that moment, because not many people can say, when Oprah gave me this book. So you're friends with Oprah. She's kind of, she's looking out for you a bit, isn't she?
She's been a bit like a second mother to me, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this book actually did kind of change my it took me out of the situations that I put myself in life and allowed me to just stop and say, okay, what have I been doing wrong?
So is this, so the play, the message in the play also strikes a chord with you in what you want to do with your life now? Which is
yes, in a lot of ways.
So, because you must be, you know, because the preconception, I guess, people still have about you, which you're obviously turning
I love to hear this all the time.
Well, you must, because I went to see the play on a Saturday matinee. I mentioned this to you beforehand. And they came out, and there was a protest in town. I think it was an NUT protest, so traffic was terrible. It's always trouble in the West End. And the man came out before and said, we're starting the show a little bit late because Lindsay's a little bit late. And my first thought was, oh yeah. You know, I thought maybe you'd fallen off and you'd got back into bad behaviour, or you were late because you weren't... But you were genuinely stuck in traffic, and they said she'll be here in 5-10 minutes, and it did. It started 5-10 minutes.
No, I was actually... I was panicking in the car, and I was going to get out of the car, and it would have been silly to just run all the way up because my security guard would have killed me. But it was a strange thing because, you know, you have someone in the show that is understudying for you, and I see this girl standing outside, and she's just waiting. And we fly past her, and she's like, fuck. And I was like, look, this is my show. I'm never missing a show. That will never happen.
And, you know, I asked Russell this thing about, and I was because Russell's been, it's 12 years, you were saying, just about.
It will be, hopefully, 12 years on the 13th of December.
Okay.
If I don't do anything unusual.
If I don't keep talking about it. Lindsay, how long have you been clear of what you saw as the problems in your life?
I mean, for me, it was more of taking myself out of, and I really do mean this, out of Los Angeles, getting back to my family and my roots, and then being able to take care of myself. So several years, but it was more about getting, I needed to find a spiritual connection, and I never really had that in the past, and that was really important to me. And taking control of my life rather than just kind of surrounding myself with distractions and people and things and noise. So once I'm able to shut the noise off, I'm good. So I've stayed in that for a while.
So being a star from such an early age, because you were modelling from when you were 3, you made, when was Parent Trap? You were 11, I think, when you made that?
10.
10 when you made that. And
Here
it
in
was
London.
a tremendous performance in that. I loved you in that film, and I can see why you became a star on the back of that. But, you know, being a star from that age, did that, and having people around you, I guess in Hollywood, maybe the wrong people, is that what caused you to spiral out of control? Is that what kind of got you into trouble, do you think? Or do you think that would have happened regardless of...
I don't think you can ever blame it on anyone else but yourself. I think that, you know, I grew up in a very tumultuous family. And then I found peace and kind of, you know, acting is therapy for me. It's more of, if it's not fun and I don't enjoy it and I'm not using kind of the work that I've been given and using my emotions through another character for someone to learn from and see on screen, then I feel like I'm not doing my job that I'm supposed to do here. So that was an outlet for me, and that's kind of why I did it. When I lost that outlet and I felt pressured into doing it, and I've been doing so much for so long, I kind of just snapped, and I was like, and I didn't know what to do, and I wasn't going home. And you know, people usually are going to college or uni at that time. I didn't have that experience. So those were those years, and I was like, look, I'm a real person. I've done this. How can I fix it, and what can I do?
Do you find...
You do a David Mamet play again.
Yeah, well, there you are. But you're over here, and you're doing something different in your life, and you're leading a different life.
Yeah,
and that's
you grow
obviously...
up,
you've made a break
you
from that circumstances and that situation, and you're in a entirely forward. Are you single at the moment?
Yes.
Okay. Are you looking for a partner, or you're not?
I'm looking for sticking with myself and just focusing on work.
Oh, good. So that is probably better for you right now not to be with someone.
I wouldn't say it's... I'm just not looking for it.
Okay. No, I just wondered. Because Russell's normally looking for it, aren't you, Russell?
I'm sat on his setting. I've been good as gold. We'll sit Russell there for a bit, and when the opportunity arises, we'll mug him off.
No.
I feel like you're...
I
feel like her understudy. I've sat around here for hours thinking she'll get pissed in a minute.
But you know, it's good that you're together here because you do have much in common. You've both been through that period. You've both been through...
Do we, Jonathan?
Yes, you've both
You've
been...
decided, have you?
Yes, I have decided.
You're going to do an arranged marriage?
No,
What
no.
Have you got a dog? I don't know what that name gives you.
But when you went... Russell, you went to rehab. You didn't go through choice at first, did you? Your manager sent you there,
I was
didn't he?
forced into that rehab.
Okay.
Me too. I was court ordered.
Okay. So...
Prison.
You see what I'm
2
saying?
years or more. It's very different.
Okay, but you've been in prison only
You
overnight,
can't school
haven't
me
you?
on this one, Russell.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to educate you on how to be a lunatic.
I'm not asking.
No, I've got into some trouble, but it's been... Well, that's friendly.
Yeah.
If I meant it, you'd know about it.
Oh, my goodness.
But you've never been jailed for your behaviour.
No, sometimes they would leave me in police cells for a while, and I didn't like that very much. It's tiresome in there, it's lonely, it's hard to build rapport. Like New Orleans, in New Orleans, it's worse getting arrested in your country than mine. When I was arrested in New Orleans, everyone else had an orange boiler suit on. I felt so left out.
And so it's tougher than being here. Here it's not as serious.
The police are so much more friendly. For a start, in our country, we cuff the hands in front, not behind the back.
Oh, yeah, they don't do that.
The police cars all crunched up in there. They took all my drugs from me. In fact, it's boring in the cell. That's when you need drugs.
Yeah.
Take the edge off. Cruel, really.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
And they're the people that's in charge. Revolution.
I was actually in solitary confinement for 14 days.
And is that to keep you away
That's
from
too
the...
long.
Is that to keep you away...
Solitary confinement's very different. You leave yourself for 1 hour a day and you don't go outside.
But is that a good...
And I don't think anyone knows that, but it's very... I was in... The other girls in the other cells were in there for murder.
So that's why they had you in solitary, to keep you away from
They said it was for safety purposes.
Yeah.
I said, what am I going to do?
Well, maybe they won't.
The others, Lindsay, the others on you.
Yeah.
I said, I made a mistake. I went to a club, and then I drank and I drove home, and that's not the right thing to do. But to put someone in that position is it was very scary. It was very jarring.
Yeah, I can imagine.
The weirdest part was, for me, is that I have finally had silence in my life.
So it was good for you in some ways.
As terrified as I was, and as, scared as I was, I finally felt like I didn't have to answer to anyone. I didn't have to do anything for anyone.
So that
was the weirdest part of it.
You were free from the odd responsibility that you felt when you had other people milling around you. Oh, so it was, in a way, a good thing then?
2 days would have been enough.
Yeah. And you had 14 days in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what do you want to do in the future? This play ends end of November, and if you haven't seen her, go and get some tickets now, because it's a rare chance to see Lindsay on stage at the moment. Do you have a plan after that? You're going to stay here in the UK, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about your family? Do you miss them when you're over here?
Yeah, they were just here. But it's nice to kind of be on my own.
And
It's nice to start fresh.
Do you feel you can be like a regular person? Or is there still... Because there's still that thing, people still go... I mean, when I went to see the play, I got the feeling that a lot of people were there for the play, but most people, I got the feeling, were there to see you. So there's still that star thing, which obviously works in your favour in some ways.
Yeah, but I'd rather it only work in my favor for my work that I do.
Yeah.
And I'd rather use it for bringing awareness to charities and foundation and CSV, these people that I work with who are volunteering for children, you know, that have been abused. That I'd rather use it for now. Whereas before, I wasn't in the right headspace. I didn't have anyone guiding me, especially myself at 17 and 18 years old.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm 28 now. 10 years ago.
Of course, you were a kid.
Yeah. So it is a very long span of time that I've been able to kind of finally be like, wake up and swallow the coffee, and if what you want to do is what you want to do, then do it.
Well, what a wonderful ending to a story which could have ended badly. For you to be in this position now, that's a really good thing, isn't it?
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's been lovely to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Good luck with the rest of the play, and good luck with whatever you're going to do next. I'm sure it'll be great. Ladies and gentlemen, Lindsay Lohan. Thank you, Lindsay. That was great. Okay. Still to come up to the break. Lindsay has to go, but Russell will still be with us. We have Daniel Radcliffe, Rio Ferdinand, and the script out here performing live, so don't go anywhere.